Good morning, Odelsi Middle School students. This is Mr. Woolley again, and we're going to finish up Lesson 6 today. And remember, the information contained in this video is intended to be viewed only by the students in Mr. Woolley's classroom. By watching the video, you agree that you will not record or share the video with anyone who's not a student in Mr. Woolley's classroom. All right, we got a couple higher level problems here. We're going to start off with before we get to some of our back to our basic ones again. What we're going to do is we're still working with fractional amounts and in some situations some like terms and everything, but we'll get to that in just a minute. As we get ready for this, notice how the two situations have different denominators. Until I get the same denominators, not a whole lot I can do. Yeah, I can actually kind of distribute here a little bit if I need to, but other than that, there's not much I can do. So why don't we distribute that first? So as I look at the problem, I got 2 times the 3x minus 4. Well, 2 times 3x gives me 6x. 2 times the negative 4 gives me negative 8. So it turns into 6x minus 8 over 6 minus still just that 5x plus 2 over 8. Now 6's and 8's for denominators. Well, if you want to find your match of denominators, you'll find it at 24. So 6 grew to 24 by times them by 4. So I have to take that whole amount, that's 6x minus 8, times that all by 4. And over here, the 8 grew to 24 because I times it by 3, as you noticed from my plan over there. So I'll take 3 times 5x plus 2. I have to distribute all over again, which in that case now I got 24x minus 32. That all sits over 24. And distribute over here, and I get 15x plus 6 all over 24. So the 24 is good to go. But what I have then is I have 24x minus 15x. That leaves me 9x's. Then I get a minus 32, or negative 32, minus 6. So 9x minus 38 all over 24. All right, and we'll leave it as that. Next up, over here, similar type of problem. I got 4's and 10s, so now I got the different denominators. Let me go ahead and distribute this part first. That way, at least that can kind of get out of the way. So I still got my 2x minus 11 over 4 minus, and then I can distribute 3x minus 6 all over 10. 4's and 10s, first match will be at 20. If you list out your 4's and 10s to find your match, you're at 20. So 4 times 5 got me up to 20, so I need to take 5 times that grouping. Minus, and this grew to 20 also from a 10. So 10 times 2 got me 20, so times the grouping by 2 also. So once I distribute those, I get 10x minus 55 over 20. And distribute here, and I get 6x minus 12 over 20. So I still have my 20 for denominator, so I'm happy because I can at least subtract now. And then I get 10x minus 6x. Well, that leaves me with 4x's. And negative 55 minus a negative 12. Minus a negative, remember, turns into adding. So actually I'm going to add 12. So negative 55 plus 12 gives me a negative 43. So 4x minus 43 all over 20. So kind of a higher level problem there, but enough for, well, at least I want you guys to at least see some examples of what those look like. All right, so let's take a look over here at some of the practice problems from the problem set. All right, say for example, if I collect like terms and I've got fractions involved. I got 1/2 k minus 3/8 k. Well, I need them to both have the same denominator, so 2 and 8, your first match is at 8. So this one just gets left alone. How's this grow to 8? 2 times 4 gives me 8. Times by 4 here, I get 4/8 k minus 3/8 k. Leaves me with 1/8 times k. That's all I can do with that one. Over here, I have a 5 and a 15 for denominators, the fractions I'm trying to add. Well, the first match of 5s and 15 is 15, so this actually gets to stay locked in. Now, 5 times what gives me 15? 5 times 3. So times by 3 to get me 15, times by 3 here. 3 times 2r gives me 6r. So I got my 15 for denominators, good there. And 7r plus 6r gives me 13r. And I can't divide 13 and 15 anymore, so I just say, oh, it's 13r over 15. That's lowest terms. All right. Now, next up, we have some problems from this grouping that I'm going to solve up here. So you'll see me rewrite them. The first up is 4/5 times 15x minus 5. So I'm going to distribute a fraction. So I need to do 4/5 times 15x. So 4/5 times 15 over 1. And I can actually cross cancel here because with a 15 and a 5, I can divide them both by 5. Get down to a 1 and a 3. And 4 times 3 gives me 12. 1 times 1 gives me 1. 12 over 1 is just 12, what I'm going to call 12x. Remember, that was technically an x number there. So 12x. Now 4/5 times a negative 5. So 4/5 times negative 5 over 1. And I can divide each of those by 5, so we get down to 1 and a 1. 4 times a negative 1 gives me negative 4 over 1, which is just a plain old negative 4. So the two pieces combined, 12x minus 4. On B, I got 4/5 again, except now it's times 1/4 C. And then I got times that by the negative 5 also. So 4/5 times a 4th, I can actually cross cancel with the 4's there. Divide them both by 4, get down to a 1 and a 1. So I get 1 times 1 on the top, 5 times 1 on the bottom gives me 5, so I got 1/5 C. And then really from the last problem, we already did 4/5 times a negative 5. So 4/5 times a negative 5 still going to give me that same answer, a negative 4. So 1/5 C, put it together with the minus 4, looks like 1/5 C minus 4. All right, E, I'm going to take another problem here. I'm going to distribute. I got 1/7 times 14x plus 7. And then I have to take away 5 at the very end there. So I have to be careful with that. So I get 1/7 times the 14x. So I get 1/7 times 14 over 1. And I can cross cancel, divide them both by 7. I get down to a 1 and I get a 2 here. 1 times 2 gives me 2. 1 times 1 gives me 1. So 2 over 1 is just 2x. So that's the first part of them distributing. 1/7 times 7 now. 1/7 times 7 over 1. Cross cancel both of them, divide them by 7. I get down to 1 and a 1. So I get 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, which is just 1. So now, when I distributed, I got 2x, and that's a positive 1, so I put plus 1. 2x plus 1, and I still had that minus 5 lingering around. So it's not going to affect the 2x, but 1 minus 5 becomes minus 4, negative 4. So 2x minus 4. And the last one I'm going to take a look at, I got 1/5 times, and I got 5x minus 15. Well, 1/5 times 5, or what I call 5 over 1, I can divide both of those by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1. I get 1 over 1, which is just 1x, or what I'm just going to call x. And then 1/5 times a negative 15. Well, I can 1/5 times negative 15 over 1, divide them both by 5, and I get down to a 1 here, and I get a 3 here. So 1 times a negative 3 gives me negative 3 over 1, which is just negative 3. And I got my x here, minus 3. So I have one of my x's, minus 3. But I still had that minus 2x to deal with. Now, it's not going to affect the minus 3 because that's locked in as a regular number now. There's no other numbers like that. But if I have x minus 2x, it leaves me with 1 minus 2, which leaves me with a negative 1. But I don't put a 1 in front of those. So negative x minus 3 will be my final answer there. All right, thanks for watching, and go ahead and give your practice in Schoology a try today.